Okay, I just thought I would show you quickly the final result of the painted Willys driver for the K truck that I'm working on. This is all going to go into the Dynahead. I think it's called the G601 chassis. And it's just basically a couple of little things that I would point out to you about it. I did switch out the steering wheel to make him more of a standard position. In the other video, you'll see if you care to take a quick look. It gives you kind of the tips about where you'd have to cut this driver to fit him in here. And the other steering wheel just looked a little bit goofy to me. It had more of a lap position for the steering wheel with a much larger diameter. Something you might see more of in a city bus or something like that. Have steering wheels like that. And some trucks, I do believe, have them like that as well. I wasn't sure. I'll try to show you over here. Just to the left of the NOS valve, you'll see there's a circle shape. That's where the stock interior had the steering wheel coming out. So I had really only copied what they had, and then realizing that it just looked quite strange once you had the driver in there. So I figured we could switch it up and maybe he'd look a little bit cooler in there. The other thing you'll see here is there's still a highlight of where I had to cut this to shorten it. So you're gonna have to take this and cut it down if you want, if you somehow are able to source the Killer Body Land Cruiser interior kit. Mine happened to come with a left and a right hand drive. So, and if you follow the other video, you'll see basically this was just done so that because the fitment of the driver was much better with him seating in the left-hand position. So this is kind of what we did. But it seems as if Suzuki does make a left-hand drive version of this, which is nice. I'm not sure if they did manufacture one with the particular year that this is. This one I think is older. I'm not sure exactly what year it's supposed to be modeled after, but at any rate, so I try to show you his face. Just painted up his suit, his gloves, and used a little bit larger shift ball. Now I realize that, you know, if this was reality, you would never want a shift ball that large either. It just always kind of bothered me that the thing looked really tiny, and I thought it fit rather well with the whole idea that, you know, Wild Willy is basically a cartoon kind of guy. So, and W. Brooks for William Brooks, I suppose. And interestingly, I just basically asked AI what he thought his last name might be. He gave me a couple of other options, obviously, but that was one of them. So I said, well, this sounds all right. What else? We had the Red Spider safety belt, and it's a really pretty good product, pretty simple, easy to use. I would highly recommend that one. I think it was about 15 bucks for a set of two, and it made it a lot easier. It made it a lot easier than trying to fiddle around with painting his molded in belt. So I was kind of happy about that. For the NOS tank, we just used the alternative manufacturer for that. And that's about it, really. It was a little tricky to use those screws. You'll see the screws there for the nitrous tank to be bolted down into those clamps. And I drilled those out and just used some M2 screws. So that's a little bit tricky though, because the plastic is extremely small and thick right there, if that makes any sense. What else could I cover? Oh, okay. So just briefly show you as well the servo and what we have, and then I'll try to give you a demonstration for it. Okay, that's just an Emax micro servo and a piece of silicone tube that goes up into the helmet, essentially. And I do believe it's going to work. I'm going to try to demo it for you right now. I did demo it quickly. What I have here is, I hate to pan away from this with the camera, so I'll try to move the charger to you. What I have here is just the output port of this charger. It's called a Passport Ultra P2, but there's basically a 5-volt output right there. And then I hacked up a USB plug right here. Sorry about that again. I hacked up this USB plug, have it coming in here, And so this is a little tip for you as well. This servo tester, obviously it's not anything new, but I did check out some of my LED lights as well, powered up just fine with this, for testing purposes. Sometimes you don't know if you like the shade of the LED that you have purchased, so you might want to check it out before you install it, whether maybe it's too blue or too white, things of that nature. Okay, so with this, usually, I'll try to show you, usually brown is the negative and the red is the positive and the yellow is the signal if you have these colors. That's at least what it was on this servo. And I always try to pay attention to that when I hook these up. So, well, let's see if we got him. So he works pretty well. Hopefully I'll be able to tap in to my rear servo on this or use channel 3. I'm not sure exactly how I'll do it, but and then so I don't know if you're going to really see much down there, but you get an idea. And that servo fits pretty well in there. The only thing that I would suggest about that is, let me just power this down. The only thing I would suggest about that is you do have to take the ears off of the servo. So don't make the mistake I made. I bought a slightly more expensive servo than this, and it was actually DOA. It didn't work at all. And I had already cut the ears, mounting ears off of it, so I wasn't going to attempt to try to return it to these manufacturer, obviously, after modification. But just a tip for anybody in the future, just check your equipment before you install it, before you modify it, make sure it works. Because that one was, I think it was about 25 bucks for that one. And so that hurt a little bit, throw that money away. This one was only about, I think, $12 and worked perfectly. The only thing I saw in the reviews of this one, just to make a quick note, maybe a shorthand for you, was in the reviews of packs of 4, I believe, some of them mentioned that they didn't feel they got a genuine product. So I don't know how the pack of 4 comes, if it comes in the original boxes or what, but I just bought a single one. It was about $12, and it seems to be the real deal because I felt it was pretty quiet. And I don't mean while it's, working, but if they're buzzing when they're in neutral position and you can't trim it out till it gets quiet, for me, I don't really trust a servo that does that. It's really just purely a feeling. I don't know enough about it to say why, but I just haven't had a great experience with servos that tend to do that. Other than that, that's about it. We just have some custom made decals, and inside the dash area there, you'll just see he's got a little start button, I guess. Maybe even one of those is a NOS button. I'm not sure exactly. And then just try to give a little more visual interest for the vents. I guess they call those vent registers. I'm not sure. That about wraps this one up. I'll just keep it pretty short for you. And if you have any questions at all, please just feel free to ask me. I'll try to help you out as best I can, as usual. All right. And just thanks to everybody who has subscribed and has been watching and following and commenting. I mean, I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have a great, great weekend. Thanks so much. Bye.